Yeah, youngster, I didn't watch the prelims. Look, you get to my age of life, you got to make certain compromises and certain choices, right? The majority of my life is spent working, earning money for my family. The next part of my life is spent with my family, doing family-related things. I only get to train and I get to watch fights in my spare time, which, excuse me, there's not as much of as you get older. But I am really glad the prelims were as awesome as the main card. I mean, the main card, I think it was all stoppages, wasn't it? I mean, it was an absolutely thrilling card. I am really excited for the way the Paramount deal's going so far. Like I said, not the two number cards we've seen. They were okay, kind of okay, whatever. But the fight nights themselves have been actually really exciting. And I didn't expect that. I said, oh, we're going to have 4 weeks with no numbered cards. What a bummer. No, they've been absolutely great and all the time. And maybe this is the transition where UFC becomes like basketball, like baseball, like football, it's a network sport. You turn on the TV and whatever fights are on, you go ahead and watch them. That's the way it should be. And I think MMA is a sport that can make it like that. Boxing, God bless it, because of the way it was structured as a business, it's never going to have that because you're always going to have setup fights, positioning for big buddy fights and then they want you to pay for some reason for those big buddy fights. And I know it's going through its own transition right now with Riyadh season and Sheik Al Turkey coming in and trying to make some changes. Dana's even jumping in there. But as far as the UFC goes, and I've talked about this a lot, they set it up very early to not make some of the same mistakes boxing made. And they did it in very subtle ways, right? Like the weight class thing. The reason there's no junior and super classes is because the boxing people talked about how there were too many weight classes, and that was the problem with the sport for a really, really long time. And so when Dana made it, I mean when Dana took over, I think he had 3 or 4 weight classes, and then he eventually expanded to the original 8 weight classes of boxing, which I think is cool. Being a boxing historian, I love that. There were other things. He made sure that the promoters owned the fighters themselves, right? He made it a league like the WWE and whatnot, recognizing that part of the problem in boxing was all these disparate interests and promoters and whatnot. It was hard to make the good fights to get people together. Well, we don't have to worry about that. If someone's really, really good in another league, eventually they come to the UFC. So make no mistake about it too, the UFC owes a great deal of its success to boxing, learning what not to do. But now I know he's trying to save boxing now. I unfortunately feel like that might be a fool's errand. But yeah, youngster, let's enjoy theyese fights now. We're in the golden age, as I always say. Everybody like and follow for more on the fight game.